Hey guys, I'm really excited. So I wanted to show you guys something I got involved in with two wonderful, wonderful editors. The first is somebody who I'm good friends with, but I met her through writing. She heard my writing. Her name's Frances Lu-Pai Ippolito, and the main editor here, the person who edited it, is Erik Grove, and he is amazing. And what it is it's called the Muddy Goose Guide to the Weird Northwest. And it's a playable adventure, which is really cool. But more than that, there are stories in it that relate to playing. And so I was going to read just this little short part for mine. Some of the stories are funny. Mark Teppo has just a wonderful piece in there. They're funny, historical, clever, experimental. There's just all sorts of really wonderful pieces in here. And so, but my piece is a little more of a ghost story, and it was based on some family stuff, although it's very much hidden in the weird, as you will soon see. So I'm going to first read just a couple pages, give you guys a feel of the kind of stuff you can get in this book. Requiem by Sarah Walker. The radio's dial burned amber in the dark, the yellow eye illuminating a voice that he did not recognize at first. Unintelligible, low, quiet. It was the murmur of a river as it works itself over the rocks. He didn't remember leaving it on. He should turn it off, but he was so tired. And the noise grew, the voice morphing into static, and then his father, a man he had barely known. Finally, he managed to wake, seeing to his surprise that the radio wasn't on after all. And then he remembered that it didn't even work. The postage box sat on the table, innocuous. He fell back to sleep. That morning he was worried. He'd been dreaming of his dead mother. She'd been under the cabin in the floorboards, watching him through the slits. He looked over at his black leather bag. He was still tired. Each time he thought about what had happened, a little more of him felt lost. Maybe that was the intention of the current chaos his life had become. It seemed to want, with burning occult life, to break him down into his constituent parts, then into dust. Maybe that's what his father had done to his mother. The ride had been long and boring, winter rain and sleet falling in a continuous shower as a vehicle made its way down Highway 101, steam turning the windows into blurry smears of impressionistic lights as the other lane's cars passed by much too closely on the tight two-lane road. To the west, an ocean dark and roiling danced in watering madness, while to the east, a million-year-old cliff stood dark, an unearthly sentinel, a man-made highway coiling snake-like around it, barely clinging to the rock formations before diving back into the scrubby, pine-choked area that the roadway passed through, before finally arriving in the fishing town where his parents had come from. He took out the photo he'd found of his father. It had been there in his aunt's belongings the whole time. That meant it had been with him the whole time. Realizing that had been finding out that something invisible had been exploring his mind for an entry point, its dark fingers lightly touching the back of his skull. He traced his fingers over the photo. He'd only seen the town in pictures, the Polaroid background showing a small coastal place, the pale white sky above hung like a mercury silver dime for a sun. It made the scene look bleak. But despite this, his mother's eyes were bright and friendly in the photo. She looked out from the past, eyes shining like crescent moons. They contrasted against his father's hard stare, a black expression, consuming him and reaching out to Andreas from 30 years ago. It had been hard for them then, with the fisheries closing, the logging companies moving away. Maybe his father had been different then. Had she known how his father was? And if so, why had she stayed? He looked out the window of the beach cabin at the rising tide that now reached the doorstep of his parents' old place, with the continuing effects of global warming. Soon, the cottage would be underwater. Fish swimming through the entryways, crabs camped in the corners and on the shelves, nothing but shadows and a murky deep. An abandoned house inhabited only by spirits of the sea. That's what had become of the small family. As impossible as it seems, time had a way of making what is fated to happen, happen, bringing together seemingly unrelated things and weaving them into fevered dreams and nightmares, whether we like it or not. And in its desire, sometimes resurrected things come back that have been better off left dead. Synchronicity is real. And if this house was destined to be swallowed like that mountain and its forest before it, then this was a place where he'd be finally able to get rid of that family ghost. He'd finally be able to rid himself of his past. He hoped. He took a deep breath, steeling himself against what he had to do. The bag sat in front of him on the Formica's kitchen table, and he unzipped it. His father face looked out, eyes partway open, clouded over, the transparent plastic bag wrapped around the dried and desiccated lips. It's distorting the visage badly. It never got easier seeing the dead man, if that's what it even was. How many times had he thrown the head away after finding it in his aunt's belongings? 4? 5? No, maybe 6. The days and weeks had begun to bleed into each other ever since this matter had started. The first time he'd found it, he'd confronted his aunt in a blind panic. What did you do to him? What needed to be done? But why would you do that? She shook her head as he told her. Oh, no, no, no. I didn't do that. I just shot him. I put him out of his misery. Well, where the fuck did it come from then? It appeared one day. I have tried and tried to get rid of it. Like that? Wrapped in plastic? She shook her head. No, no. I actually did that. I worried it'd rot. But it doesn't. They both stared at the thing and finally agreed to go to bed. They would try to sort the issue in the morning, but when he come down to check, the head was gone. He told his aunt this in a rush, but all she did was turn on the coffee pot. He asked her, "Do you believe in ghosts?" At first she said nothing, but finally she spoke. "Don't talk about it. Whatever it is, it's just over. Just forget it. Maybe it won't come back this time." And for a month, nothing had happened. But then it came back. Family secrets are normal. That's what his aunt had told him after he'd found the head again, this time in a box postmarked Portland, Oregon, but with no return address. And it was gone again, just the box remaining by the next morning. There were a few brown, dark hairs stuck to the tape, though. How could something be real, physically, only to vanish again? So that's all I will tell you for now. In order for you guys to know the rest of the story, you will have to get the book. And I think you will like it. So that's my piece. It's Requiem. And like I said, on top of this, this is a game. This is the coolest idea. So as you read the stories, it takes you through a game. And it's interactive. So it's interactive related to this beautiful place that we live in, the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that. I'm really, really excited about being part of this. And I want to thank the editors and the series producer, Francis, and everybody else in this book. People have done amazing, amazing jobs on their pieces. I really wanted to mention a lot more people. Gigi Little, Erik Grove's piece, so many good pieces in here. Kate Ristow's piece. She actually did a wonderful little short reading of part of hers, which was great. And of course, one of my favorite writers and people, Wendy Wagner's in here. And she has a story, The Sea Witch, which I know you'll love. So anyway, check it out if you like weird, horror. Anyway, have a happy holiday. I won't call it Thanksgiving. I teach anthropology in my day life, so there's a lot of problems with this holiday, as you may know. But anyway, it is important to be thankful for stuff, and I'm thankful for that book. So thanks, and I guess see you around.